So those who would argue, no, if you do this, it will harm your growth, we can prove, no, we had 30 years of high growth, but we kept our energy consumption stable, and by that we gained money from not pouring them into the Middle East. And that is why when American business argue, some American business, fewer and fewer, but still, argued that if they join into some kind of framework here, it will harm their interest, for instance vis-a-vis China. I believe it's the opposite way around. If you don't do this, if you hesitate in changing your economy into a more sustainable economy and a clean tech economy, then China is going to take the market, because she's already this year becoming the world's largest installer of wind capacity. This year China will be the world's largest installer of solar capacity, and this year she will be the world's largest exporter of clean tech. I mean, whether we get a deal in Copenhagen or not, I'm in no doubt that China is just doing it for a number of reasons. Environment, air pollution, lots of things. China cannot sustain the enormous and impressive growth rates unless they do this different. So they're going to do it anyhow. So in the end you could say that the biggest loser, if we don't get a common framework set, that would be American business. Because if they hesitate, they will sort of lag behind. Europe is doing this, have set up regional targets for renewables, for energy efficiency and CO2 emissions by 2020. Europe is doing this no matter what. Japan is now coming in doing this. China is doing this. So it will be in the interest of American business to get this common framework. Yes, China will not have to do exactly the same as we in the rich part of the world at the same time, but it's a way of getting China into some kind of obligation and commitment internationally. And finally, just if the US sort of does not deliver here, I think that what is also at stake, it's how you are modernizing your economies, it's about energy self-sufficient, self-supply, but it's also about the economic and political strategic leadership of the 21st century. Basically, as I see it, that is also at stake here. If the US is going to be the strategically seen economic and political leader of the world of the 21st century, then I think it's crucial to join in here. I came home, I have two sons, 15 and 16 years old, and the oldest one is at high school. He had projected President Obama's picture to the wall and painted it.
At the house?
Not at the house, at his own room. At his own room. My point is just, consider how many years is it since you had an American presidency that a new youth generation, not only in Denmark, not only in Europe, in Asia, in Africa, in Ghana when they came there, your new first family, who sort of through this presidency has a lot of hopes in the United States. And I just think that you should be very careful as Americans, sort of, that is fantastic. In Europe, during World War I, World War II, the war against terror, the Cold War, different generations saw the leadership of the United States. It's fantastic that a new generation of youth worldwide sort of sees this new hope in an American leadership. I know all the troubles back home on your domestic scene, but for those of us who love the US, it is a fantastic and unique possibility of sort of reinventing the American strong position in the world vis-a-vis a new generation of young people. And that is also, as I see it, what is at stake here. Because if the US comes to Copenhagen and say, we cannot deliver, I'm not sure whether that picture on the wall will be scrubbed away again, but I just think that there is a possibility for the US to take this leading position in the world that has been a traditional role for the Americans to have.